Okay, welcome, and this is another episode of Nothing But Drums, and we're back out here at the Tremont Music Hall, and I'm with the drummer Boo, and he's playing with the band Gideon Smith and the Dixie Dam. Now, tell me, it's been rumored that you used to be the drummer for Animal Bag. Is that true?
Yep. Yeah, for almost 15 years.
Really? Yeah. How long have you been playing drums altogether?
I guess I started when I was about 12, because I came from a family of musicians. When I was about 12, I got a kick-me-down set of Rogers, and I played for a couple years, but then I kind of like got into other... was too busy getting stoned and didn't practice enough. And then when I was 15, I kind of got a band going and got serious about it and started practicing. And
do you still have that Rogers kit?
No, I wish I did.
Yeah.
It'd probably be worth a pretty penny right now.
Do you take any formal lessons, or is it just one of those things you just started playing with people first?
Well, I had an uncle who was a percussion major at the University of Miami.
Oh, nice.
And he taught me some things, but unfortunately, right when I was starting to come into it, he moved up to Chapel Hill after he graduated, so he wasn't really around to give me lessons. So I went and started taking lessons locally. Strange enough, I took 3 lessons, and then I showed up one day for my drum lesson. My drum teacher died.
Oh.
So
that story.
It was kind of weird, so I never took any lessons. I just listened to a lot of Led Zeppelin records.
Okay. Another John Bonham fan.
Yeah, I can't get away from it. He's the man.
Well, since we're on that, who are your other influences besides John?
Well, lately, Jonathan Fishman's been blowing my mind.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's just one of the greatest drummers. He's just fun to watch, and he can swing, and he's almost like, I love watching circus drummers, and he's very close to watching like a Ringling Brothers drummer, that's one of the hardest gigs ever.
It's funny, my old music teacher from high school was a drummer in a circus, and he said that is the toughest gig to play, but it's the most rewarding at the same time. I'm not much on the circus. I've never been to one, so I can't say.
It's worth it to go just to watch the drummer.
Really?
Yeah, most definitely. And the circus is coming to town.
That's right.
It's in town right now, as a matter of fact.
Okay, that's something I definitely like to check out, because I never really thought about it, but I guess, the drummer's got probably more work than anyone else there.
Yeah, he's got to keep his eyes on everything, because you got 3 rings, and you're accenting while people are jumping through hoops over here, and this guy's, he's watching the whole thing and kind of accenting the whole.
So he's setting the flavor for the whole show.
Yeah. The guys are maniacs. They play like 2 shows 365 days a year, so they
got their chops down. They have to.
Yeah, they're just crazy. So I've been into Jonathan Fishman just because he's kind of like that to me. He reminds me of that. And lately, Billy Cobham. What can you say about the guy's a freak. I love him. He's just the greatest things ever.
What did you learn when you were playing with Animal Bag? You said you played with them, 15 years?
Almost, yeah.
Almost 15 years, so you must have been on the road a lot with them. And I know you guys had, a Polygram endorsement, and you were signed, and you were on MTV, so you must have been, you must have really got your chops down just playing with them.
Yeah, being on the road for, a year nonstop will really get your stamina up and, your chops up.
Do you think your playing since you started really enhanced then, or was it already where it was going to be when you're in Animal Bag?
I don't know. There was a time early in Animal Bag where, we started writing, and that's really where I learned everything is in the songwriting process. We started writing a whole lot of songs. There was like 3 songwriters in the band, so I learned pretty much everything on the fly, and I think the most important thing I learned is to listen. Not be so consumed in what you're doing, and be able to hear what everybody else is doing so you can complement it. So I kind of learned a lot of that on the fly. And then when Animal Bag was ready, we moved it to L.A. when we felt like, everything was solid. We had the tunes. And so by that point, my chops were up pretty good. We've been, we were pretty hard workers, practice 4 or 5 nights a week.
Right.
A lot of writing, a lot of rehearsing, So I learned pretty much everything I did in a band format.
And which is probably the best way to learn, because you can practice by yourself and learn so much, but when you're playing with other people, like you said, you have to compliment them, and it helps you become a better player.
Right.
Do you now, or have you ever just sit down behind your kid at home and just start practicing by yourself, get a tune in your head and work at it, and is it something you enjoy, if you do it?
Yeah, when I can.
Right
now, I can't play at my house.
Okay.
It's noise, but I'll listen to things. The great thing about being a drummer is it really never leaves you, because it's always with you. It's in, it's in your hands and your feet and your head, and so you don't really always have to be behind the drum set to be practicing mentally or physically.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you listen to a CD, just in the car, you listen, beating on the steering wheel or whatever.
Right, after a while, everything becomes, rhythm. You hear it, You can't get away from it. Turn signals,
right.
Just the whole thing. It's just,
So tell me a little bit about what you're doing with the Dixie Dams.
Right. Well, Gideon's an old friend,
okay.
and he had some studio time, and he had some songs,
okay.
And he was looking to put something together, but he didn't really have a band lined up, and so me and Otis from Animal Bag and another guitar player friend kind of got together and went in and made this EP.
Where do you guys do it?
We did Reflections.
Oh, okay.
And he had some kind of he had songs, but he had never played them with a band, so we just kind of got together and kind of brought them to life. And so we recorded them there, made an EP, and it actually came out pretty good.
What kind of stuff is it?
It's I guess a lot of people are calling it stoner rock. It's kind of slow, but it's kind of got a bluesy influence. It might be, I don't know, old Soundgarden meets, or Black Sabbath meets Skinner or something,
Okay, that's kind of neat. So you must lay some really cool stuff behind it.
Yeah, I just try to lay a heavy backbeat on it, and
so it's got a good solid groove, is what it sounds like. It's got a good solid groove.
Yeah.
Do you have any freedom? You go off a little bit through that song?
Yeah, I got some freedom, there's room, there's not a lot of rule. It's not a rule band where, you can't do this or
right,
that.
Right.
Animal Bag was kind of like that.
Was it?
The arrangements were heavily, structured.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this part and this part and this part. We had songs that had just, 8-9 different parts.
Right.
And maybe the second time or third time you get to that section of the song, you're going to be playing it this way. And
right.
There's a lot more freedom here. The songs they're a lot more natural.
Then it feels more comfortable to play to something like that, because you let your ear do the talking for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's a lot more fun because I can just kind of get on it and ride it.
Right. So what kind of kit are you playing tonight?
Yamaha Beechwood Custom.
Yamaha Beach. How many pieces do you have?
It's a 5-piece.
5-piece, and what is it? 22-inch kick or something?
Yeah, it's a 10, 12, and a 14. So smaller sizes, but they sound incredibly deep, actually.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, good. And the cymbals you using tonight?
Paiste.
Paiste.
Yeah.
And now you formerly just a big fan of using Paiste cymbals. I'm not much on them myself.
It depends on the situations. I like Zildjian cymbals too, but when you get in a rehearsal room with a whole lot of Marshall cabinets,
right,
and you want to cut through,
get the Paistes.
Yeah, you need to get 3000s or Rudes or something.
Oh, you were pretty much a hard hitter in this band, or do you kind of just groove a little bit more? Do you like to slam? I guess is that the question?
Yeah, I've always played pretty hard.
Do you?
Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys are doing tonight.
That's cool. Yeah, I've tried to refine my technique a little bit to where I'm not quite such a monster. You know, I used to be a little prehistoric back in the day.
And there's nothing wrong with that, man.
But I'm becoming a little bit more aware of technique and things. But this band does demand me to play pretty loud.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Boo, thanks a lot. This has been my show. This is Nothing But Drums. And oh, no problem, man. And we're going to check out Boo here in a little bit and with the band The Dixie Dam. So you guys stick around, and thanks for staying in tune.